Welcome back into that Sean podcast. It is I, Big Ush. Is he the Cat Daddy? Cat Daddy, what's on your mind?
Ooh, champion has been crowned, and we're going to tell you whether Kirby Smart was able to get a victory in his fifth attempt against Nick Saban, or if Nick Saban was able to take home championship number 7 for Alabama. But while the regular season and the bowl season may be over, football as a whole is not finished yet, because we have the Senior Bowl to look forward to, and we have the Combine to look forward to, we have the draft to look forward to, and we still have activity going on in the transfer portal. Caleb Williams, former Oklahoma quarterback, has entered the transfer portal, and shortly after, Jackson Dart, formerly of USC, also entered the transfer portal. So connecting dots here,
Related?
I'm expecting to see Caleb Williams at USC in the fall.
Also, that being said, I mean, it's never too early to look to next year. We've got some legit studs that we've seen in Bryce Young, Will Anderson. You know, we've got
Brock Bowers. I don't know if he's eligible next year, though.
Who's that receiver from Ohio State? What's his name?
Oh, Jackson Smith and Jabba.
We got CJ
Guys
Stroud.
playing bananas.
We've got who's your favorite running back? Out of Texas over there.
Oh, Bijan Robinson.
I believe he's eligible. So I mean, we got. I mean, just saying, there's some players just to look at a little bit. You know, guys who aren't eligible yet, but they're about to be. There's The funny thing is, we'll be talking about some defensive tackles soon out of Georgia that are probably at least one, if not two, will be on our list, and they aren't even the best defensive tackle on Georgia right now. Without further ado, Sean, go ahead and get into this game.
If you are expecting high scoring, high octane offense, left, right, fireworks all over the place, this championship game disappointed you. But if you wanted a very well executed defensive chess match, this is the championship game that you wanted. And I loved it. At first, I hated the idea.
The closing speed of these defenders in this game, like Christian Harris came out and gave his best performance of the year, and his closing speed was insane.
Nakobe Dean all over the place.
Now, before we get into the good stuff, we are going to say there's an unfortunate injury to Jamison Williams, torn ACL. Hopefully his rehab goes well, and hopefully it doesn't deter him from being a first-round pick. Right now, I still have him as a first-round pick. Team should not be weary against him. This is if he comes out, but I think he still should come out. This more so now. I think. I don't know why you would go back, but I think teams should not be deterred from taking him. He is still a uniquely amazing talent. It was just an unfortunate injury that happened at the worst time.
I heard some people talking about sitting out in the playoff games. I'm like, first of all, it's the playoffs. You don't sit out in the playoffs. You don't sit out for whatever draft stock positioning that you have. It's the playoffs. You're going after the only championship in football. Second of all, just listen to everything I just said. It's the playoffs. You don't sit in the playoffs. Yeah.
Even if someone did, though, I'm not poo-pooing on them if they did. I understand it. I do. But at the same time, you're right. There's only one thing in college football. Well, technically, there's two things in college football to play for. Your draft stock and a national championship. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Just some random bowl game? No, thank you. But I'm still not going to say, if a kid doesn't play in the national championship, I'm still not going to say he doesn't love the game.
Yeah. Yeah, but if he wants to skip the macaroni and cheese hula pineapple bowl, okay.
But this game started out people a little nervous. A little nervous for them Georgia Bulldogs.
Well, at first it started out really well for the Georgia Bulldogs. You're thinking Jordan Davis up the middle. You have the fumble recovered by Kobe Dean. You have that immediate score. You've gone up 6-0 on what Alabama's second offensive play. This game is going your way, and then they ruled. Bryce Young actually threw an incomplete pass, took the fumble off the board, took the touchdown off the board. I know, but think of how excited Georgia was at that moment. Just plow right through, punch Alabama right in the mouth.
But I'm just saying, Georgia's offense was stifled until a little-known receiver wearing number 1 all of a sudden gets wide open downfield, gets overthrown, and comes up with I don't know, there's NFL receivers not making this catch. This is George Pickens I'm talking about. If you don't know, me and Sean, I guess I'm starting something more so because Sean's not as high on Pickens, but I'm very high on Pickens. And just this catch was unbelievable. It's just like he laid out for him, had to dive for it, but he contorted his body to protect the ball from being popped out from the ground. It is amazing heads-up athletic play.
Fantastic catch. Doesn't quite move George Pickens on my backboard, but it was a great catch. I mean, he's had 2 good moments in the playoffs. He's had 2 really good moments. This catch in the championship game, and then last week against Georgia is when he when he absolutely demolished and pancaked the cornerback who was opposite of him, and then he gave the hush to the Michigan sideline. So 2 great plays.
All I'm saying is the main reason why you had him low is because of the injury. And seeing that he's fully back from the injury with the tape he's already put out there, I have no problem having him high. And I have no problem with him falling. Go ahead and fall to the Dallas Cowboys. Please do.
Oh, you'd love that.
Yes.
Let him fall to the second round, or you'd love it even more.
Oh, if he fell to late in the second round, yes. Let's
But think about it. How it's not improbable, because with this wide receiver depth, you're going to see some of that good talent fall to the second round until later to the second round.
So, just saying, with his size and speed, goodness. Anyways, from there, it was the chess match was on. It was a lot of defense until all of a sudden, Bama gets up. No, wait. Was it Georgia that got the big run from Cook first? And they get the lead?
I think they had a 13-12 lead when Cook had it. No, they were up 13. So much going on with playoffs and coaching.
Basically, at one point,
they were trailing 6-9. Then James Cook popped off for the 67-yard run. Then they got the touchdown after that.
So Bama got the fumble first. The
what?
Fumble. Right? The fumble.
Yeah, the fumble.
And recovery first. But they
Really,
only
the
netted,
refs were trying to give the game to Alabama at that point.
they only netted the 3 points out of it. And then James Cook decided to go off. He decided, you know something? I'm just going to go for 57 yards. That's it. And then the next drive, when Georgia got the ball back, they decided, you know something? We got this running back nicknamed Zeus for a reason. So we're just going to give the ball to him and just have him bully all of Alabama. And that's what he did. And they went down, and they finally got the ball to their stud tight end for a touchdown. And then when Bama tried to come back and get back into this game, Bryce Young tried to do a little too much. Interception, taken back down for a touchdown, and that was all she wrote for this game. But I don't think that's really the tale of this game. I think the tale of this game was Georgia, when they got down there in the second half, they scored touchdowns. Bama did not have... Did they have a touchdown in this game? I don't think they had a single touchdown. I think it was all field goals, wasn't it?
No, they had a touchdown. They had the touchdown to Cameron Latu.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they have one touchdown, and
that was
all field goals.
That was after the fumble because Stetson fumbled, and then I think that led to the Latu touchdown.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
So
you
much
get what I'm
football this
saying.
weekend.
Bama.
Yeah, Bama couldn't get it done.
They didn't cash in as much as they should have. Mm-hmm. And yes, people are going to say, well, Jameson Williams didn't play and John Mechie didn't play. And I'm going to say back to him, but this is supposed to be Alabama, isn't it? They're supposed to have like racks on racks of talent, aren't they? Next guy up, first round pick here, first round pick there.
They're supposed to. If you think back to 2019, if Henry Ruggs and or Jerry Jeudy went down, Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle were ready to step up.
And John Mechie was there too.
If last year Devontae Smith and or Jalen Waddle go down, you have John Mechie
Waddle
who's able to step
go down.
Exactly. But this year, if one Mechie and or Williams goes down, they don't have the depth right away to fill that void like they did in previous years. So I don't know if this just shows a drop in player readiness. Yeah, it could be recruiting. And maybe that's why Nick Saban wants to have some federal regulation over the NIL, because maybe he's afraid that recruiting is going to get a lot more challenging if Alabama's not ready to empty its pockets. And Alabama shouldn't have to empty its pockets.
But even with that, it's not like your defensive linemen were out. Yeah, I know you had corners out, but Georgia was bullying you up front. Will Anderson's still there. Mathis is still there. These are stud players.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I'm saying. Is Georgia went with that bully ball in that late half, and Georgia won playing some bully ball on Bama.
You know why?
Bama's usually the ones playing bully ball.
Exactly, and that's what made me love it so much more. Is you're thinking after Georgia forces the 3 and outs, and before they get the touchdown to Brock Bowers, they just ran the ball down Alabama's throat. They ran it. I think they threw a pass in. They ran it. It's the same thing that Alabama started doing to Cincinnati when they played last week. Just run the ball, crush their spirit, break their will, just bully them up front, let them know who's boss. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. I love the huge chunk plays that they're picking up, 6-7 yards at a time, not getting stopped.
All right, moving on though to our next segment. We're going to get right back into our offensive line update. So, jumping right in, Sean, Go ahead and admit to the offensive lineman that you had at number 5 in the summer.
Oh, womp, womp. So I had Iowa offensive guard Kyler Schatz as my number 5 interior offensive lineman. Started the season out injured, and he didn't quite play as well as I was hoping he would.
No, he did not.
But he is nowhere near my top 5 now. Instead, my number 5 guy is someone who we saw play the last 2 weeks, and he plays at Georgia. He plays left tackle, Jamari Salyer. Now, yes, played left tackle, but he has a lot of success inside, and that's where he's projected to be in the NFL, and he showed it. And he showed it in this game too, because he started this game out at left tackle against Alabama, but then the coaches realized that they were getting beat on the interior, so I think it was pretty early in the game. He went to right guard, and that's where he finished out the game. He solidified what was their weak spot, and the playoffs really allowed him the opportunity to redeem himself from the SEC championship game when he was just getting beat. And overall, I think the playoffs did well for his draft stock.
So my number 5 guy was Alec Lindstrom, who didn't play poorly this year, just wasn't amazing.
Still better than my pick.
And so mine now is Jamari Salyer. I can't say that word. Salyer. And yes, I mean, he has great athleticism, but I'm very surprised about his power. And I was very surprised in this particular game how much he was able to help them bully Bama. This guy is going to be a legit starter in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, Sean.
In the summer, I had Donovan West from Arizona State. But now that I had time to really put myself in check, it's Zion Johnson from Boston College. And he took a huge step forward this 2021 season. Transferred to Boston College, I think from Davidson. Started at left guard, left tackle. I think he's going to have a home at the interior when it comes to the NFL. But he showed improvement with pass blocking and run blocking this season. And fun fact, he was only called for 4 penalties in his 3 years with Boston College.
All right, so my number 4 guy was Ikanu, North Carolina State. But I have settled in as him as my number 1 left tackle, or tackle overall in this draft, so don't worry about that there. So at number 4, I have Zion Johnson also. And this guy's nasty. Like you were saying, everything you were saying, but he has got some nastiness to him, some tenacity. He is a guard. I know he played outside, but no, he's got that guard mentality, that physicality, that kind of like, he's that guy who's going to be the first one over there to try to punch someone out if somebody does something wrong to the quarterback.
Yeah.
So, but he's got a lot of good athleticism. He's got that mental makeup to make for a Pro Bowl guard in the league.
Yeah, what I like about Salyer and Zion Johnson here is that they're both going to the Senior Bowls. They both have additional opportunity to display themselves for NFL scouts and teams. And I think it's going to be a huge week for both of them.
All right, next up for you.
In the fall, I had Kwanu as my number 3 interior offensive lineman, because I thought he would have fit more in the interior, but I was wrong, because he ended up being my number 1 tackle prospect. So I missed just slightly on that one. But my number 3 is Darian Canard from Kentucky. He's been a 3-year starter at right tackle going against the SEC competition. He's shown to be a great run blocker over the past few seasons, and he really showed that during the Citrus Bowl, just dominating Iowa's defense. His pass blocking improved as well. He himself is going to be at the Senior Bowl, and that's going to be a huge week for him. And I just can't say enough things about the Senior Bowl roster this year. I think it is great how many people are going. I'm really excited for that. But back to Darren Canard. I think he's one of those who played tackle in college, but he's going to be shifting to the interior when it gets to the pros.
All right. Well, my number 3 guy in the summer was Zion Johnson. Now, note, he's number 4 now. That's not because Zion hasn't improved. He actually has improved. The problem is the guys ahead of him have improved too, and one of the ones is my new number 3 guy, which is, as you just said, Darian Canard. And I think you articulated it properly. That he's also another guy who has played on the exterior, flexing inside, and I think this guy could legitimately be a Pro Bowler, possible All-Pro on the inside. This guy's got legit athleticism, great power. He's gonna be a brawler on the inside when it comes to the running game, digging dudes out and whatnot. It's just the question is, how will his pass blocking skills go? And
I know.
We'll have to find that out.
When it comes to running the ball, though, you just hand the ball to the running back and you follow Darian Canard. Just
Exactly.
follow. Just go through the hole he opens up for you. That's what it's going to be.
All right, so number 2.
Alrighty. My number 2 prospect was Darian Canard, who bumped down to number 3, but pretty similar to how you were speaking. It's about Zion Johnson. It's not like he did anything bad or wrong to get there. But it's slightly different in my top 5 now, and I'll get to that in a couple of seconds, actually, because my number 2 guy is Kenyon Green from Texas A&M. Now, originally, Kenyon Green started the fall on my tackle list, but now he's made a little switch over to my interior list. And for Kenyon Green, he played left tackle for Texas A&M this year, but he spent a majority of the season playing left guard. And he actually ended up playing more snaps at right guard and right tackle than he did left tackle this year. A lot of things I said last week about him still ring true now. For a guy his size, 325, he can sure move. He's got the athleticism. He's got the feet, which is fantastic to see from an offensive lineman. The positional flexibility that he offers reminds me a lot of the Packers' Elkin Jenkins, who play at least 4 positions really well. And pretty sure Kenyon Green has taken a couple of snaps at least at the center position. And very similar to Darren Canard, give the ball to the running back, follow Kenyon Green.
So my number 2 guy in the summer was Tyler Linderbaum. And my number 2 guy now is still Tyler Linderbaum out of Iowa. Best center in this draft. Complete, hands down, best center in this draft. My number 2 on interior offensive lineman. This guy's going to be an all-pro, a fixture on your team at the center position. I get it. He's undersized. The main comp I have for him is Jason Kelsey. Get him in that type of system and just watch him watch him dominate. You see it in the games. He's destroying fools at his size. This is I'm not going to mince words here. This is an Aaron Donald type guy for the offensive line.
Nice transition to my number 1 interior offensive lineman. In the fall, it was Tyler Linderbaum from Iowa. And now, after the season is over, it is still Tyler Linderbaum from Iowa. And I'm glad you made the Aaron Donald reference, because he actually started as a defensive tackle at Iowa. He was recruited on the defensive side of the ball, and I think it was during his first year that they transitioned him over to center because they saw the athleticism and what he could do. He's not the biggest guy out there, but for his size, he has got great strength. The athleticism is going to help him get to the second level, and we saw that at the Citrus Bowl against Kentucky. There was a screen pass to the left side, and the wide receiver is running up the sideline, and you just see Tyler Linderbaum running downfield, like running through people, knocking them over. It was fantastic to see, and it just shows that his motor is running hot the entire time. He's not going to take plays off. He plays through to the whistle. I thought he played better this year than he did last year, and I thought he played really well last year. And a lot of the offensive line prospects we've been talking about, they have some level of positional flexibility where they can play tackle, they can play guard, they can switch sides of the line. For Linderbaum, he is exclusively going to play center. That's his position. Could he play another position? I would say guard. I wouldn't say tackle, but center is where you want him to be because that's where you're going to maximize his value. And yeah, love watching the guy play this year. And in the Citrus Bowl, he actually got injured a little bit. I think he had his foot stepped on or his ankle stepped on. Left the game for a little while. Comes back in, finished up for Iowa. So that was nice to see too.
All right, so next up, I've got Kenyon Green was my guy my number one guy in the summer, and my number one guy now is Kenyon Green. And Kenyon Green is literally my number 2 offensive lineman in this draft. Period.
After Ekwonu?
What's that?
After Ekwonu?
After Ekwonu. He can literally has the flexibility to play just about anywhere, especially both guard spots and at right tackle if necessary. But I think his best position is going to be one of those guard spots. He is nasty. He can play the run, like you said, follow him there, but he's got pass blocking skills. He can mirror guys. He's got that type of athleticism. This dude is ridiculous. He is going to be a legit player in this league. And yeah, whoever gets him, they're going to be very happy. All right. So that is it for our process today. Sean, any more thoughts on these offensive linemen?
Nothing for offensive line. I'm excited to start talking about some of the defensive talent next week. That's going to be fun.
Yes. Next week is going to be interior defensive tackles and edge rushers. And I can tell you, things have changed. Well, that's all she wrote, folks. Everybody, sleep well. Enjoy your days.